people. What is your reason for your stand on Vietnam?
Well, I would say there are several reasons, all growing out of one basic reason. And the one basic reason is that I feel that the war in Vietnam is clearly an unjust war. And I think there are many reasons why it is an unjust war. It is basically a civil war, and I can't see for the world of me why our nation is involved 8,000 miles away from home in what is basically a civil war. It puts us in the position of being against the self-determination of a people. And if we look back and go over the history and the development of the war in Vietnam, it is very clear that every move that we have made there is a move against the self-determination of the Vietnamese people. For instance, in 1945, after joint occupation of the French and Japanese, the Vietnamese people declared themselves independent. And incidentally, they quoted our own Declaration of Independence in their document of freedom. And yet our government refused to recognize them. And for 8 bloody years, the French sought to reconquer their former colony, and we supported the French to the tune of more than $3 billion. In fact, toward the end of that war, just before the French were defeated at Dien Bien Phu, we were meeting more than 80% of the war cost. Then came the Geneva Accord in 1954, but we helped install a man named Diem, who engaged in some of the most repressive and brutal methods toward his own people that we've seen anywhere in modern history. And he prevented the Vietnamese people from having the call for elections in 1956. And the Viet Cong, which we today call that communist force of aggression from the North, actually came into existence as a resistance movement in the South to the brutal dictatorial methods of Mr. Diem. And if we look at the history, we see this clear pattern of being against the self-determination of the Vietnamese people. But not only that, I think this war is playing havoc with our domestic destinies. It has been estimated that we spend about $500,000 to kill every enemy soldier, while we spend only about $53 a year for every person categorized as poverty-stricken. Now, this seems to me, and I'm sure to anybody else looking at it realistically, to be tragic order in terms of priorities. And I cannot overlook the fact that the war in Vietnam can lead us to a nuclear holocaust. It can actually lead to the annihilation of the whole human race. The more this war is escalated, the more it moves toward bringing China into the war. And it can lead to a third world war, which can die in disproportionate numbers. And the 2 4/10% of the, how difficult they are to face, they are very unconcerned about.
And I think sad news.
Example of the world. For all of these reasons, I am compelled to take a stand against this futile, bloody, and costly war in Vietnam.
Was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis, Tennessee. Martin Luther King